Now today we're going to be changing the brake hoses on this 2005 Blazer. Now over time, your brake hoses are made of rubber and they have a liner. Eventually they wear out, and that can cause a whole mess of issues. Sometimes the line will collapse when using and cause the brakes to lock up on you. Sometimes it'll cause a brake fade, or you'll feel a pulsating, grabbing feeling in the brakes when you apply pressure. Various different things, but for the most part, over time, that rubber hose and liner will eventually wear down. Now, the reason why the rubber hose is there is because it needs a little bit of flex with the suspension when you're going down the road. It's got to be able to flex, otherwise the steel line would eventually snap and break. So that's why there's a hose there. But what we're going to be doing is a pretty simple step here, changing them. Now, we've already got the wheels off. The car is jacked up, jack stands, and the rear tires are scotched so it won't move. Now, honestly, the hardest part about this is going to be finding someone to help you bleed the brakes later, which, for the most part, everyone knows how to do that. I'm not going to show that step. There are some tools that you can use and do it by yourself, but for the most part, when I bleed the brakes, especially if I'm already this part of it, I'm just going to leave the wheels off where I can get to it a lot easier instead of crawling around on the ground. Especially right now because it's been raining for over a week and the ground's wet, the concrete's wet, and I'm going to try to stay dry. So let's begin. Now, as you can see, our steel line is threaded into the hose here. So what we're going to do is take a 14mm wrench here and a 16mm here to loosen this off, take this part off. Now, after several years, this can be kind of seized and kind of hard, so take your time. Don't bend this line. And then the other one right here, this 11mm bolt, and we're going to take that out, and that'll remove the old hose. Now remember, you may want to have something under here to catch some of this old brake fluid so that it doesn't pollute and you don't get in trouble if you're in town. Now, of course, we're not going to reuse old brake fluid. Always use new brake fluid. Okay, now what we're going to do, reuse the old bolt, clean it up, make sure there's nothing on the thread, make sure there's nothing in the little holes. We're going to put our new copper washer on the bolt. If you can see, this side is going to go up against the caliper. We're going to put our bolt through here with the washer. Then we're going to go ahead and put our new washer, other washer on the other side. get it started. And I'm going to go ahead and bring hose up here. Go ahead and make sure threads fit good. Alright, now one thing you want to make sure of is there's little grooves here. Make sure that goes right up in the groove where it's supposed to. Then you can pop your clamp back in. Then we can proceed to tighten everything back down. Now I like to do this before I tighten everything down, just to make sure everything's lined up where it should be. Now what you want to do is go ahead and wipe it down, check for leaks, bleed the brakes, and check for leaks again. Alright, there it is. Now, this is pretty quick and easy, and you can do it yourself. Now, the part from Dorman for both sides, about $25. Brake fluid is going to cost you less than $10. So for $35 or less, you can do this yourself. Save yourself time and money by not taking it to the shop. I think it took me less than 30 minutes probably. But for most people, it should take less than an hour. So it's relatively simple and quick. You can do it yourself, save your time and money. Now always make sure that you go back, double check, make sure everything's tight, especially with the brake system, because that's something you don't want is going down the road and all of a sudden your brakes go out, because that can lead to trouble. So just make sure that when you do the brakes, something like that, make sure they're bled, make sure you go back, double check, make sure everything's tight, because you don't want any accidents later on. Now, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm always doing videos on different projects that can save you time and money by doing it yourself, and I'll show you how. And as always, thanks for watching.